Oh, yeah, it's good to be here. The Wolf Report, your 12 noon show, just on for a few minutes. And I'm Dave with the Wolf Nation Network. Happy Monday. I'm going to lead off the news with a video that it's been making the rounds. It was back in February. I'm going to pick it up where this there was some a curse word that was used. I'm going to pick where right after that. And the officer is dealing with a stolen car, and he runs up on the student who is screaming, and he tells the student to quit screaming, or he's going to take them to facilities according to the Baker Act. The young person obviously does not understand half of what they're saying. I'm going to pick it up right here. I'm not going to watch the whole video. They end up being arrested, but this is what officers deal with. I mean, they got someone who's threatening, hollering, screaming, and then he's trying to call in, radio in. We'll see this, and this is the one where the officer, this young person, is mad because they said they were misgendered, and this is what you do. I mean, these are things that happen for officers every day.
Possibly be abused.
We'll get OP here then, because I gotta work this stolen vehicle.
What do you mean OPD?
Alpha 73 University.
Alpha 73.
Can we get another unit to deal with Jay Lee here? He is having a breakdown.
Say! Just say the right pronoun!
What'd you say?
7351.
Get down on the ground right now.
No!
You're about to get sprayed.
No!
Get down on the ground right now.
Leave me alone!
I can come in there.
Leave me alone, please!
Okay, are you gonna calm down?
I'm getting my phone out. I have to film this.
I'm telling you. Are you gonna calm down?
I will calm down. I will calm down.
Do you know what this is?
I will calm down when you get the pepper spray out of my face.
Alpha 70.
So anyway, just so you can, see, you may have seen it, may not. That I guess the gist of it, and then it kind of goes from there. He doesn't know what. I'm sure I'm sure they have suffered some harassment. I'm sure that there are people saying words. I mean, this is life, not easy. She saying girl, he looks like a man. Officer doesn't know. He's just trying to deal with the situation, and this is how balanced it gets. And he's there to deal with a stolen car, and it runs up on this. I tell you, it's tough, and you just never know what you're going to run up on. So let's remember those officers. I love they got body cams because it, he's talking about getting his phone out and videoing. Well, it's all on camera. You can videotape. We don't see his face, obviously, but he's fighting, he's resisting. She, whatever you want to say, she resisted arrest, and anyway, that's kind of making its rounds right now. So you could be the clerk at a convenience store. You could be working the window at a fast food chain. You could be a librarian. It doesn't matter. You're faced with um, this every day more and more. What I, in the absence of knowing, because you don't know, I try to use names. I just try to use names and stay away. But sometimes you just don't know. And listen, I don't think any of us go out there trying to offend anybody. Most people don't. We don't know. I get it. This person's on edge. Um, they need some help. They really need some help. Um, but the thing is they were going. This officer would have never been involved if they weren't screaming. They were just going around the corner trying to deal with a report of a stolen car, and then they run into this, and they have to deal with it. This is taken away from the crime here. This person's mental health crisis or breakdown or whatever you want to say. He can't avoid it. I mean, this guy was girl. I can't even. I would be the same way. I'd be the officer. I'd be okay. I don't know here, and he's going with something that's non-lethal. He don't even have the taser out. They don't like that, but imagine going to school with. I mean, you're just going up down the halls. You're going to class, and you say something the wrong way, and you have that screaming at you. If they're doing the officer that way, you can imagine what a fellow student would be or staff would be, how it would be for them, and having to deal with that every day. And that's extremely unfortunate. Well, we're in the 9th day of bombing campaign in Iran. We mentioned this on the morning show. Won't mention it too much, but as continue to hit those areas, soften them up more, hopefully bring them back to the negotiating table. Our prayers and thoughts are out to the service members who died in attacks on bases, some in some countries, some in another. Pray for our troops as there are many operations going on. Other planes are headed that way. They're getting the heavy bombers ready if needed. Refueling planes, there's more than 30 that were already there. There are more on the way. They're getting ready to do some massive campaigns. That's why more refueling planes are needed. Let's pray for the good people who are caught in the middle of this in Iran. Let's pray that it comes to a peaceful resolution. But it's fully going to continue for probably another week or two. There's a great article I read this morning on Epic Times. If you're subscribed there, I don't know if you have to be to read this article from Victor Davis Hanson. It's wonderfully laid out. The president is facing with the midterms. What Iran is trying to do and what the president can do, it makes perfect sense to me, and I can see this absolutely playing out that way to soften them up to a point that everything's open, turn it back to people in the region, and say, listen, you've got the military means. All of you dedicate something to keeping the strait open. If you need us, we'll be back. If Iran starts to get a nuclear weapon or is has the ability to shut the strait down, they don't have the ability right now. They're just terrorizing. It's a great article. I really love listening to his comments, and I would hope that you go there and read that article. It's an amazing article. Shout out to Spain, who beat Argentina for the World Cup, 1-0. More punches were thrown by Argentina after the match than goals scored. There was an article in the New York Post. There's a few pictures if you want to see them. Right after the match, there were a few fists thrown. BBC soccer analyst Alan Shearer described the host on air as throwing 2 or 3 haymakers in someone's face. And there's no place or space for that. We know how much it means to them, and we know how much it hurts to lose. But there is a way to lose. Too many times we have seen that from Argentina. Let me see if I can pull, and I'll mute that, and we'll see if we can't pull this and hopefully let you see it. And maybe we'll see here. I'm trying to pull it now. Let me pull up. Get rid of this other story. Oh Lord, where did it go? Rough when you only have so many screens, and here it is. Okay, let me pull this back up. Okay, let me bring it out a little bit. Share screen. We'll show you a little bit of that. There we go. If you didn't get to see the match, which I know a lot of people did, but if you didn't, let's get up here. So a little bit of a brawl breaks out. Yeah, there's a way to lose, and that's obviously not what you want. So, go out with go out with some class, character. Sports has been really been going downhill in the last few years. We're seeing this across many sports, and it's always. I mean, it's passionate soccer is very passionate. We've seen people with stands. I mean, it can be dangerous. The president was able to give out trophies and all that. He even got to bomb into the celebration, along with the FIFA president. But it was a great success. And shout out to Spain. It's never nobody likes to lose. Somebody's gonna somebody's not gonna like that they lose, and that's just the way that goes. So you either like it or you don't. But there's no room for that. You gave it your best, and you just didn't make it. You just did not make it. So, lead story in a Metaworker developed digital experiences for kids amidst trying to sex a child in undercover New York City sting. It had been groomed and sexing someone he thought was a 13-year-old girl. My goodness. During a sting by vigilante group Predator Poachers Long Island. This is their lead story right now. Josh Felker, 44, who's now deleted. Hang on here a minute. Link page said he worked for the Facebook parent company. Admitted he had been grooming and sexing someone he thought was a teen girl during a sting by that group. Even though inappropriate things had already gone on, I just always wish. Even though inappropriate things had already gone on, almost wish I could be her dad. Felker, who has a small child, shockingly told her a member of the group posing as his would-be victim's grandmother on the phone, according to a video of the encounter set to be released today. He listed his job as engineering manager for the tech giant. He reached out to the group's 13-year-old decoy account in May and has been messaging them regularly since. It didn't take long before Felker allegedly started making a slew of sick remarks, and we won't mention some of those are listed here on the air, while sending multiple photos and videos of himself to her, and we won't mention what those were. I even tried to set up days to meet her in person. Mike Villani, one of the Predators catchers who had the poach, told the Post the group approached him to his surprise outside of his Murray Hill apartment Wednesday, and he initially tried to flee the poachers before eventually agreeing to sit down in a nearby location to talk. As his mother-in-law was inside and he didn't want her to overhear that he was cheating on his wife by grooming who he thought was a minor, the video shows. The New York Post has it if you'd like to see it. It's horrible. When confronted with the chat logs, he admitted that it was him messaging what he thought was the young teen who didn't actually exist, and detailed that this was not the first minor he groomed. According to the video, I did this once before to another girl who was underage. Strangely likening the teens to any port in a storm. He then bizarrely blamed his wife and their sexless marriage for fueling his sick perversions, which he said has pushed him to dark corners of the internet. The group's encounter with Felker, which was just under 2 hours long, ended with police arriving just after he allegedly finished admitting to his sick crimes and was arrested just blocks away from his Manhattan apartment. He's charged with disseminating indecent material to minors and endangering the welfare of a child. He pleaded not guilty to his arraignment Thursday. Is due back in court September 19. Meta did not respond to a request for comment. Horrible. That's lead story right now in the New York Post if you'd like to see that. Sadly, maybe not want to see it, but that's, you see what he looks like. I'm not going to put it up, and I'm not gonna say some of those things. Again, shout out to the vice president and his wife on the beautiful birth of their fourth child, and see healthy baby boy whom the couple named Alec Neal, Neel, at Walter Reed Medical Center in Maryland on Sunday. Shout out to them. We are we always celebrate life. It's something that we do, and in the normal way, and this is the normal way. Anyway, another article they have: New York leads the nation in school spending despite 12% fewer students. They spend more on education with 12% fewer students because the school system is shrinking. More people leave New York. What's going on? The Empire State enrollment could see their double-digit decrease by 2031 as population growth stagnates and birth rates plummet. They've also this idea to not create, like the president or vice president and his wife did, to not have kids. You can't afford them, and we don't need too many, and they're overcrowded. All this is having an effect, and so there are other cultures who have many kids, but it is happening, and it is affecting their population growth. It's stagnated. Birth rates are plummeting. New York is shedding students faster than anywhere in the U.S. except California and New Mexico, according to a report by budget watchdog, the Citizen Budget Commission. The reckoning will force tax policyholders to consider controversial decisions, closing emerging schools and reducing staff or continuing to prop up facilities with a dearth of students. Public school enrollment has declined in every region over the past decade, reflecting broader demographic trends and slower population growth, the CBC said in its value proposition tracker analysis. So, they're spending more money with less kids. So, you start seeing that. The state public school enrollment declined by 322,000 plus to 2.38 million. New York City had the smallest decline in the state at 1.1%, thanks to an increase in students at charter schools. There are 930,272 students in the city public school system, a drop of 188,000 plus students from a decade ago, when it had more than 1.1 million. But the city also has 109,000 more students in charter schools, which help limit the rate of decline compared to school districts in the rest of the state. Still, under-enrolled public schools remain an issue. More than 800 schools, now there are roughly 1,800 in the system, have fewer than 400 students, while 241 have fewer than 200 students. Yeah, they're not going to be able to keep that open. Politicians have contributed to the problem by holding out such schools as harmless, maintaining their level of funding despite the districts having fewer students. Failing schools rob children of their futures. Said a recent report put out by the Success Academy Charter School Network, under-enrollment schools drain the budget for no return. In other parts of the state, enrollment was in free fall. Southern Tier down 20%, Mohawk Valley 19.6%, Finger Lakes down 17%, Central New York down 17%, Western New York down 13.7%, Hudson Valley 13%. There's a few others. Long Island down 11.8%. Despite the cratering enrollment, New York schools spend more per student than all of the states, with mediocre results. The state spent nearly $32,000 per student in 24, 81% more than the national average. It finished out. That's probably due to unions, honestly. More than it fished out 17% more than neighboring New Jersey, 20% more than Connecticut, and 30% more than Massachusetts, and 11% more than the second biggest spender, Vermont. So anyway, I don't think there's a surprise there, honestly, at all. But I'm glad I don't have to deal with it. But that's unfortunate for them, and they have budget issues anyway. So that's unfortunate for them that they have that. Let's get to some good news. I want to close out with some good news today. We like to talk about good news. In Kansas City, on May 10th, Someone stole the e-bike that a cancer survivor needed to get to her oncology appointments. Officer J.B. Young of the Kansas City Police Department told her he would do everything he could to find it. Ever since it went missing on Mother's Day, Officer Young had never stopped looking for Olivia's three-wheeled electric bike. 1 month later, he delivered. Young and his partner saw a man riding an e-bike that looked spray painted, with a glimpse of the old paint showing through. Young texted a picture to Olivia, who confirmed it was her bike. JP even surprised himself when he found it. When they met again, Olivia said he wore the biggest smile on his face when he returned it. Officer Young went way beyond the call of duty to help me get my trike back. Not only did he keep a steadfast eye out for it, he patiently tolerated all my texts, sending clues to where it might be, she wrote on the KCPD Facebook post. The best part for me was seeing how big a smile he had on his face when he was able to return it, just like he had found the golden goose. I loved it. Friends had purchased the new bike for Olivia, who has stage 4 breast cancer, but it wasn't assembled correctly, so she hadn't used it. Now her plan was to sell the old bike that was stolen so she can afford to have the new one repaired and be mobile again. However, a local volunteer with the Urban Trail Company saw the post about the bike being returned and announced they were happy to fix her bike at no cost. Bikes are a part of our lives, and myself and some other volunteers will be happy to help her get rolling again. Thank you so much, Olivia replied. I would absolutely love that. It would be a huge help. One commentator exclaimed, your generosity has brought tears to my stories like this. Rarely get told. And then the best part of policing, wrote another supporter. You know, there are people who do care, and they do their very best to try to help people go above and beyond. And prayers for her stage 4 cancer. That's horrible. And she's biking there, you know. I imagine she doesn't feel like biking sometimes. I give her a lot of credit for being that type of person who's fighting hard. Maybe somebody could come along and maybe give her a few rides as well, where she doesn't have to use the bike. I know that's good for her health. But you got to think that some days will be kind of rough. That's our Wolf Report today. Again, we keep it kind of short, and we appreciate you for watching. We'll see you again tomorrow. Hopefully, we try every day. Some days life gets in the way, but we do try every day to have the Wolf Report. Try to be more consistent with that as we're going through all these changes at the network. Don't forget, go to Roku, download that Wolf Nation Network app. Oh my goodness, we are live there with all our live shows. We're loading up the video on demand. We're doing some of the new, only a little bit of the older stuff. We're putting up all new stuff as the lives go there. They're in there, and I'm still learning my way around. We got new equipment going in this week in the studio. Sound is going to increase. And we have another meeting this week with Rezi about keeping the streams up even more. And it's just cost doing business. Sometimes the storms we've had has affected us, and we need help there. So anyway, take care. God bless. And we'll see you this evening for racing and the Chaser Man. Take care. We'll see you soon. Let's put the song back up.